Let's talk about, without necessarily referring to your manual, because we can work this out between ourselves. What are some common fears of public speaking? Let's call them out. Say again. Shaking. Yes. Forgetting words. I said the other day, it just came to me that I believe that what's really not the cause of the fear of public speaking, but what's really driving it is a fear of being humiliated. That's kind of underneath the whole thing, right? When we get humiliated, it's excruciating because shame on the scale of human emotions, shame calibrates closest to death. On a scale of 0 to 1,000, it calibrates 15. That's why shame can so deadly stop us in our tracks, because it's like a dead block. What was that, the one? Looking stupid. Thank you, Slava. What else? That's okay. It is different. Ridiculed. Embarrassment. How many R's in embarrassment? Okay, well, put it back. Anything else? Not knowing enough. Yeah. And how would people know that, or how would you know that you've lost focus?
By forgetting the content.
Okay, right. Okay. Anything else? Hey? Rejection, for sure. Imagine being in a corporate environment where your career depends on how well you present, and you're a particularly unskillful presenter. And everybody around the table is like, you'll feel it, right? You know it's not doing your career any favors. You might feel rejected, of course, or people can stand up and walk out, which they do sometimes. Heckled could happen. The thing with all of this stuff that we write down that involves the audience, when you follow the simple basic steps that's in the manual that we will cover today, which is exactly how I started today, the odds of being heckled is 0. It just doesn't happen. When you engage the audience every step of the way, it doesn't happen. Because you engage them every step of the way. Because you bring the elephants into the room. Because you speak to the skeptic. Because you acknowledge them. Because you honor and respect them and love them. People lose the need to up you. And we speak about that more in the advanced course, about how to deal with so-called difficult people in the audience. Because you can do one of two things. You can blame them for being difficult and resistant, or you can up your skill level to deal with them and meet them where they're at, which I suggest is the more empowering one. One more if there is. Well, let's write it down. For you, it's something different. Being challenged. Okay. Now, appreciate that with all the tapping in the world, these things could still happen. You know, we can sit here and tap it in a safe environment, and you could go into the next presentation and somebody challenges you. It's possible, right? So know that we're not going to change the future. What we are going to change is your emotional response to it, and we're going to help you reduce your fear about it so that from a vibrational point of view, you don't attract that into your life. And then again, typically when you follow the steps, it just works. You're going to spend some time on, so just add on page 19, if you have something, a fear that we haven't covered yet, or you want to make some notes below the list that's already there, you can write that in there. Like, what's your favorite one? None of them. Wait, none of them. Oh, yeah, yeah. Smart answer given the question. Yeah. Yep. Very common one. Right? Going to be found out to be a fraud. Absolutely. We are a funny old species, aren't we? So given the amygdala concept that we just covered, my first curiosity is, we're not going to go there right now, is what happened to Karen for her to have this fear of being found out to be a fraud? Something must have happened. Babies don't wake up one day and go, ha, I'm nervous of becoming a fraud, of being found out. Something happened for that baby or little girl to learn to get humiliated or shamed or something, and that connection is made. The amygdala goes, there it is, and there it stays until today. So then you're going to spend some time on page 20, 21, and 22. Please avoid writing until I've talked you through the instructions. 20, 21, and 22. You can spread yourselves out in the room. If you prefer, you can go outside this time. Outside as in there outside, not there outside. It's very important that you write down the first thoughts that come. This is not a thinking exercise, it's a writing exercise. You're going to simply read the header. My biggest fear or fears of or about presenting are being embarrassed, being humiliated, being wrong. Done. Next section. What that reminds me of is when my dad used to yell at me, my teacher that said I was useless, and my last boring corporate presentation. Right? You just bam, bam, bam. Once you've done all the white bits, my manual looks a little bit different to yours because it's smaller, but it's exactly the same. Once you've done all the white bits on all the pages, then you go back and you write a number between 0 and 10 in the before column. That's before we've done any tapping. It's not a thinking exercise, it's a writing one. Out of 10, that's a 10, that's a 7, that's a 2, that's an 8, that's a 7, it's a 4. Just write the numbers as they come. Avoid thinking about it very much. Once most people are done, I will bring it to a close and we will start getting into some action. So now go and find your spot. It could be where you are, and complete those 3 pages.